Good. Okay. Love that top.
Thank you. I love yours too.
So cute.
I like yours
It's a
too.
good little. I like that print too.
That
because
color's
it's
what?
like,
Periwinkle. That's your color.
it's like
That's
a
what it's
little.
called.
Isn't periwinkle blue?
It's kind of like a lavender blue. I mean, that's not that that's blue. I think that's periwinkle.
Oh, it is. Look, I thought it was just lavender. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Just chilling, just hanging out. Hi guys.
Hi there.
So, yeah, I thought it was
I think
it's like a bright
periwinkle.
lavender or something. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm trying to load up on my phone as well, so we haven't loaded up yet. So
Oh
let's
my
see.
gosh.
Ah,
I like
there
the
you
necklace
are.
too.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. It's Tuesday, so like we never come on a Tuesday, but
I'm
here we
here.
are. But Gia's here in town, so of course we have to come on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm going to be in town. I'm like, let's do a live.
Yeah. Got in what? I told you about 11 o'clock last night.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Kind of on
What?
Texas time right now. So
Yeah, what time?
Seven
What time is in Texas?
7 o'clock. I'd be in
So,
my pajamas.
so Texas is Central Time. Is it
Yeah.
East? It's Central.
It's not
time.
East Coast. We're an hour.
It's not.
off East
It's
Coast.
okay. So it's
right
Central Time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi guys. So we got Gia in the house. So
Hey, guys.
really excited about that. I haven't seen you since.
I left.
Was it October?
Yes.
End of October. Were you gone before Halloween?
I literally left on Halloween. I think we drove out of town on Halloween.
So I was kind of doing the math. I thought, Gia's been gone 150 days.
It's a long time.
Today is 150 days. Not counting.
Is it really?
I'm not counting.
I've only aged 10 years in 150 days with that move, but
yeah, she went through the mill. She had a
some
she had a little bumpy move to Texas. So hi you guys. So we're just gonna wait for a couple of people to kind of join, and I would love.
There's the comments. I was going, where are the comments? I was looking down at my phone going, I can't see the comments.
Oh, we've got Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. We have Marie. Hi, Marie. And we have Shauna and Lori and Dawn. Hi, Kathy. How are you, honey?
Hey.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina. Lubbock, Texas here. All right. I'm in San Antonio.
San Antonio. We got another Texan in the house here.
That's right.
Hey, Arlene. Who's from Texas around here? Who's joining us from Texas? Oh. Hey, Kristen.
My cousin's on.
Oh, hey, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen. I'm going to
Hi,
see
honey.
you in a couple days. I'm coming your way next.
She's making the rounds.
Yeah.
She's sleeping at my house tonight.
Yes, I am. We're having a summer party.
Yeah, we are. Oh, my gosh. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Pamela. How you guys doing?
Oh, there's Evie.
Hi, Evie. You remember Evie?
I do. Yes, Evie, I do miss OC. I told her, I said it was so good to get back. I mean, I love Texas too, but boy, you can't, I always miss OC. That's for sure. So it's great to be here and see my friends, my family, my granddaughter. Tomorrow doesn't know I'm here. I'm going to pick her up.
She has a whole day planned with her granddaughter.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. But tell them what you're doing. You're doing like a restaurant.
Well,
you're going to do like you guys are cooking.
We're doing a restaurant tomorrow. I'm picking her up at 4 o'clock. And then we have a whole menu that she's going to prepare for her dad and her grandpa. And so we're doing a restaurant tomorrow night. 4 course. And then on Thursday, I'm taking her over
to. She would be doing that.
Pretend City. We're going to go to Pretend City, and then we're going to Benihana for lunch. We're going to have lots of fun.
I mean, I want to be Gia's granddaughter. I told her earlier, I'm like, can I be your granddaughter?
She did say that.
Yeah, I did, because it's always fun with Gia.
Yeah.
Hi, Ann. How are you? Hi, Linda. Hi, Paula. I'm doing this without my glasses, guys. Have you noticed? I'm doing this without my glasses. I'm probably squinting. Hi, Sally. Hey, Brenda. Hi, Viva.
Oh, there it is. I was looking.
You got it?
Yeah. Sabrina said she just got back from San Antonio on vacation. Took the kiddos to SeaWorld. Got to see the Riverwalk. Yeah, the Riverwalk's cool.
Wait a minute, SeaWorld? SeaWorld here or in
No, in San Antonio.
I think it's closed here, isn't it? Is it closed here in San Diego?
We got everything open in Texas. I'm just
going
to tell you.
We coming to Texas.
But Sabrina, if you ever go back, if you haven't been there yet, make sure you check out the Pearl, which is near Riverwalk. It is the coolest place. Hotel Emma, which I think was, there's a story behind that.
Gia went into Texas and she found all the hot spots to eat and have, cocktails and places to go.
Go to the Pearl.
Go to the Pearl. She's been talking about that a couple of times
come
now.
See me.
Yeah, you've been talking about the Pearl.
Yes.
So tonight we're going to be doing a special live, and I've been wanting to kind of mix things up a little bit and kind of have some fun and do some different things on the lives. And so, first of all, on this Thursday, I'm going to be doing a Letters from Spirit. So it's called Embracing the Mud Puddles.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in 2 days. That'll be this Thursday. So it'll be guidance from the guides, Edgar. So we'll do that on Thursday. Well, I'll be doing that on Thursday because you'll be busy with your granddaughter. Yeah, we just got her tonight. My earrings keep falling off. So that's going to be Thursday. But tonight we're going to do, we thought it would be kind of fun. Gia, go ahead. You could tell her what we're doing.
Yeah. 5.5 hour flight last night. I think there's 70 questions I came up with while I was flying yesterday because you said that nothing was off the table, right? Some of these I might know the answers to, but I'm betting that a lot of people might not on some of these. So I thought they would be good questions so they can get to know, who you are. Obviously, as a medium, you talk about that, but a little bit more on the personal side, a little bit more about you. And since you said nothing's off the table.
Nothing's off the table. I'm going to keep it real and
transparent,
and we're just going to kind of go. I have no idea what she's asking, by the way, and so if it takes a minute or a second for me to kind of respond, it's because I'm thinking of the question. So I am not. I don't have any idea what she wrote or anything like that, and so I'm out of the loop. I don't know.
You're going to find out. and I broke it down more into the personal as well as kind of broke it in two separate parts, personal, mediumship, and obviously any questions that you guys have, that I don't have on here, definitely ask her because she's willing to answer them. So let's have her answer them.
Oh, no.
Nothing bad. I think just all things that if they don't know that they may not know about you.
Yeah. And I think it's a fun way to, so, if you have any questions about me that you want to know professionally or personally, tonight's the night.
Yeah. And are you going to give a free reading?
Yes.
I saw that.
Yes. I decided to give a free reading tonight because, I haven't done that on a live in a while. And I like to just spontaneously do it from time to time. So tonight's the night. So we are going to, there's rules to that though, right? Because you have to be present on the live to win. So if you're not on the live, you can't win. So that's it. And we'll tell you what we have to do when
we get to that.
Yeah. And it's going to be a 30-minute private reading with me over Zoom. Okay. So, and
I'm not just saying this because we're friends, because obviously, and we're going to talk about this, how we met, but I mean, if you haven't had a reading with Monica, you got to have a reading with Monica. And we'll talk about it a little more in detail, but we met because I actually had a reading with Monica here in this office in San Juan Capistrano. And I don't know, has it been?
You were sitting there.
I was sitting there crying and cleaning. I don't know. It was great. I mean, it was phenomenal. Was that 2 or 3 years ago? That's been a few years, right?
4?
You've been stuck with me now about 4 years?
4 years?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah, about 4 years ago.
So,
yeah. So that was fun. And then you came again for a reading.
I did. And I did.
And then one time after one of the readings when you left, you said, would you like to have lunch with me?
I did.
Would you like to go out and have lunch with me? And
I kind of felt like we had this connection. The more we talked, even though it was a reading, I'm like, she really gets me. I think we have a lot in common. I think we should go to lunch and have a cocktail and talk about this. And that's kind of how it happened, right?
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to that restaurant for our first date restaurant. We're going there tonight.
Our first date, yeah, we're going tonight. Guess what we're eating?
Take a guess.
Tacos.
Yeah.
And margaritas. I'm not having margaritas. I have readings.
Are your comments coming up here like they're coming on mine? Or do you have to scan? Or
I got to scroll them. Sorry.
Oh, you did.
Hey, Matt, Alyssa. Okay, so do you see them here?
I see them perfect, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Maria says it's her daughter's 8th birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Christine. Hi, Kat Marie. Evie says she loves the lavender color.
Okay.
We were just having a debate on what color my blouse is.
It's periwinkle, right? Which is kind of a tone of lavender, but maybe somebody out there, if you could see the top, is it periwinkle or is it lavender?
I think it's lavender.
I don't know.
I thought periwinkle was blue. A bluish
kind
color.
of a grayish lavender.
I know. We were talking about it right before we got on live, so
I don't know.
The verdict's out. What is it?
Really
is it lavender or is it periwinkle?
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? Hi, Keisha. How you guys doing? Okay,
this
cool.
is fun.
Isn't this fun? Okay, whoops, I almost slipped that one. Okay, guys. All right. So, and you have the scroll there, right?
Well, mine pops up on its own. I don't have to. I don't have to.
So you're in charge.
Yeah.
You're in charge. I just have to.
Want me to?
Just answer the questions. Okay. Also,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but periwinkle. Oh, we got a lavender. We got a few periwinkles. I'm pretty sure I'm winning this bet. I do see a lavender, but
I guess I'm buying dinner.
Deaf periwinkle. See, I think I was right.
Definitely periwinkle. Really? So periwinkle is lavender, and I'm really good with color, so I'm really surprised.
Yeah,
I had that wrong.
I had a suit once that color. It was one of my favorite suits, so I just remember. It's really pretty.
Thank you.
These are the world problems.
These are the things that keep us up at night.
Yeah. You can see I've been locked up way too long.
Yeah, long flight. You got in late last night. Yeah.
Late. Okay, let's get rolling.
All right, let's do this.
I'm just going to kind of start and
make sure you remind them that they can ask some questions.
Yeah, ask the questions. I actually have my phone.
If you want to.
I have my phone here too. And Ann was saying she went to San Antonio and she loves Texas. Me too, Ann. I'm getting definitely used to it. I mean, I miss home still here at OC, but there's a lot to love about Texas.
There's a lot to love about Texas.
And here too. But the people, I got to tell you, the people are the most warm, great people.
That's nice.
My neighbor might even be on here. I think I told you. Nicole. She was going to get on. Yeah, my next door neighbor.
Gia's new friend.
Yeah, my new friend. They're great. Her and her husband Craig, and they're watching my ladies, my dogs, right now while I'm gone. So, all right, let's get it going.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hi, Joanne. Okay, go ahead.
Funny. Everyone to know if I was a medium.
Everyone to know if you were a medium.
I am. Certainly not a trained one.
She could be.
Yeah. Definitely.
She could be.
But that's what I have you for. You just come see her. I don't have to study. I don't have to do any work. Just go to you. All right, let's get to you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So, I'm going to kind of hit some personal questions first.
Okay.
And like I said, go ahead and you're going to have to keep scrolling up for me though too. Well, okay. I can see them here, but
okay.
Okay. First question.
Okay.
What was your home life like growing up?
What was my home life like growing up?
Childhood.
Bad. My parents divorced, and not only did they divorce, but they divided the kids up. And so the siblings got kind of divorced also, and the parents divorced. And it was very tumultuous, and I was a very anxious kid.
That happened to me too. They split the kids up, same thing. My door. That's weird, because I don't think
I don't really know anyone who split up the kids.
My parents did the same thing. Isn't that odd? See, I told you there was a reason.
We have a lot in common.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so it was a very difficult. Very difficult.
So it's going to lead me into a question that's on the mediumship side, but I'm going to just go ahead and go to it because it kind of ties into what I just asked.
All right.
Obviously, you saw spirits as a child.
Yes.
Do you believe because of your childhood, home life, that it had something to do with you being open or the spirits coming to you at that stage in your life?
Yes. Okay. 1,000% yes. Yeah. I was really lonely.
Right.
I was a really lonely kid.
Yeah.
And I almost say like overly anxious. I was an anxious kid because they fought all the time. They fought a lot. And I was raised to have to be on my own a lot at a very young age. Like I was walking to the store and like buying my own like shampoo at like 9.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was just kind of like
So it makes you independent real young.
Really independent, really young. I'm not complaining or not, saying anything bad about the parents or anything.
It just builds who you are.
I'm just expressing,
right? Builds who you are. Yeah. I mean, you always talk, I love cooking. Well, I had to cook. I started cooking at a very young age. Like you did at 10 or 11, I was cooking for my dad and my sister. So, but of course that's my favorite therapy today, right? I love to cook. So
I love that.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know how to cook. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen. So I wonder if there's something to do with that. Like, I don't like to cook. I don't know how to cook. But I was also never allowed in the kitchen to cook anything. So I almost felt like the kitchen was off limits for me. So I wonder if it was like, I don't belong in the kitchen.
It absolutely was.
So I think that's probably what it is because, like, all of my friends can really cook, except I'm the only one. And I wonder if there's something to do with that, about,
I guarantee
like,
you.
I couldn't go in the kitchen. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen to make anything. So
I guarantee you.
Maybe.
Question.
That happened to you guys?
Right here. Matt, Elisa, is it Matt? It's Elisa, right? Elisa. Okay. So this is a question I had on my list. When did you start feeling the connection with spirit? What was your first experience with spirit?
I had many as a kid. 5 and 6 for sure is where I first saw a spirit. And then when I was younger, like around 8, I used to play. Oh, my head is buzzing. spirit here. When when I was about 8, I used to play school with one of my female guides, who later came to me in a very strong meditation. Yes,
Sorry.
we're doing a live, darling. Yeah, no worries.
I thought I heard you say yep.
Oh no.
Just the neighbor.
Just the neighbor.
Just the neighbor checking in.
Just the neighbor in the business office.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 8 o'clock. No, 8 o'clock. About 8 years old. Yeah. So I would play school with her, and I would set up the desk all the time, and I would be the teacher, and she would be the student. And
Shocking. Shocking.
Right? And if you think about it, like now, right? I mean, so you wonder, like, how much of the things that we've done in our childhood has prepared us for the things that we're doing in our life today. And I mean, I could, give you many examples, but that's one. And I guess you could call that imaginary friend.
I was going to say.
But people might kind of say that. But she came to me in a very vivid meditation in 2015. And I knew instinctively it was the person that I did the school teaching with. Yeah, she came to me. And that's probably why.
Isn't it funny? They come to help you. I mean, children are innocent, right?
Yeah.
So they go through. I mean, they come and they're there to help you, right? And that's what they did, right?
Yeah.
You said you were lonely and all those things. Another question.
Yeah.
Before it scans up.
Okay.
Let me find it right here because it just. Okay. Melissa wants to know. Do you believe you pick your life challenges before you were born to evolve your soul? That's a good question.
Probably, yeah, probably. I know that sometimes we're not always aware of what our path is, but I think the guides are always leading us on that path. Like I might have mentioned in one of my lives before that, I was always attracted to connecting with the other side, conversations with God, mediumship, connecting with loved ones, talking to loved ones, talking to heaven. Like if you look at since the 80s, since 1980s, that's all I ever read. And I had no idea I was a medium. So it was breadcrumbs that the spirit world and the universe were kind of placing on my path, guiding me, already in the 80s when I was in my 20s?
Right.
No. In my 80s, I was younger than that. I was
teens.
Yeah, I graduated. Well,
I know when you graduated. We're the same age.
Anyway, yeah, since in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
We'll leave it at that. But yeah, so yes, I do believe that. Yeah, I really do, and I think it's how they want to, bring the breadcrums on our path.
So just a couple people are asking.
Yeah.
Did it scare you when you saw your first spirit? Were you scared?
Never. Never. I kind of feel that they bring that energy of love. So we feel that energy of love. And so, no, never. No. And I always felt very comforted. And like playing school, I was always excited about it.
Right.
So,
because you're the boss.
Yeah,
you're the teacher.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
I always feel good
I
when
was
I'm
a
the
leader.
boss.
You were a leader.
I
was a leader at 8. All right.
Okay. Let me, we'll come back to that. Let's see where else I'm going to go. Okay. So how old were you when you married the first time? Because we know you were married. That's the boys' dad.
Yes.
And then divorce. So how old were you when you got married? When did you divorce?
Okay. So, all right. So I married my first husband at 22. I just turned 22, maybe 2 months before. So I got married at 22. He was 19 years older than me. And we were married for 7.5 years. 2 gorgeous kids. Beautiful boys, and best gift he ever gave me.
Yeah.
Times 2. Yeah. So he was a blind date, and he was set up with me by a client of mine. I used to do weight loss, and a client of mine was friends with him, and we were on a blind date, and we were married in 9 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, 9 weeks. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
But of course, then you ended up divorcing, and now there's Joe. So let's ask about Joe, because
you guys are going to think I'm crazy because.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about Joe. Okay. How'd you meet Joe?
I met him on vacation in the Turks and Caicos.
I don't even think I knew that. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that.
Met him on the beach. I just got there. I got there in the evening. I went with my girlfriend. We flew in. I got there at the resort. There was a beach party on the sand, and I just got onto the sand, and there he was, in a black T-shirt, tan with some muscles, and talking to another girl. And I walked, and we locked eyes.
You did?
Yeah, we locked eyes. So that's where I met him. I met him on vacation.
And how long did you date?
5 months.
How do you propose? I don't even have to look at this because now I'm just going to be nosy. I don't really need these.
He on his knees at Sacred Heart in Paris. So it's called Sacré-Cœur, and it's a church in Paris, and it overlooked the entire city. And he got on his knees and asked me to marry him.
And you guys have been married.
And that was December, and we got married the next month. So total of 5 months since we met.
Been married 23 years now.
23 years. 23 years. And no one thought it was going to last. Everyone was against it.
They don't know.
Everyone was like, "What are you thinking? On vacation?" Like, but you know your gut,
right? And you were right. And
yeah,
Joe's
23
awesome.
years, and I love him to pieces. He is definitely my soulmate.
Yeah,
clearly. I believe spirit brought him to me. Actually,
oh, probably.
If I really, that could be a whole nother conversation. But yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
I mean, so we were chatting this up before we went live today, just talking about the move and marriage and everything else. Mm-hmm. And so with every marriage, long term even, have you had any rough spots in the marriage? I mean, yeah. I think I said any rough spots in the marriage. How did you work through them? What got you through them?
We made a pact not to go to sleep angry at each other. So that was one. But I think that probably the hardest time in our marriage was the first year, because I came from being very independent and having my own business and raising the kids by myself, and he was very, he just had to worry about him, right?
Well,
he was a bachelor. He was a bachelor, right? So
right?
But I had kids and I had a business I was running, and right. So my earring. And I think that the first year probably, because I remember I went and bought my own car, and I came home with a brand new car, and he was not happy.
When you were married?
Yes. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
You were just, took that burden off of him,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's like, it's my car. But apparently you're not allowed to do that when you're married.
Yeah.
So I learned.
Right.
So, yeah, so that the first year, you're kind of working through, like,
totally.
How it's going to work, how it's not, you're figuring it out.
Right.
And I think that's probably very common with a lot of people.
Oh, for
that
sure.
First year is probably like making those adjustments and blending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always a blend.
Yeah,
There's always a blend.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you love most about Joe?
His green eyes, and his he says what he does. So he's a man of his word.
That's
and
a big deal.
I respect
That's a big
that.
Deal.
He is a man of his word.
Yep.
And so whatever he says, he does. And I love that because I can count on him.
Yeah. I'm going to look at a couple questions here because I
Perfect.
need to look here.
My earring fell.
Monica wants to know, what's your birthday month and what sign are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
What's your birthday month?
December.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sandy's here. She said she's a little late from work. Sandy's here.
Hi, Sandy.
Okay, there is a question I think you can answer very quickly. Tina wants to know, it sounds bizarre, but can mediums talk to God? We can all talk to God, right? I
talk to God every day. I meditate.
But we all can, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah, I mean, listen, whenever we're all doing that. Yeah, I'm no different. I mean,
right.
Yes, I'm always, I believe I'm working with God
I think the question is, do you
Mm-hmm.
get an answer back from God, which is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think that's what she's asking.
Yes. Yes, of course.
But
we all do.
But I've had an answer back from. I've heard it. I've heard a voice in my head before. So I think we can all do that.
Everything is a part of God.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We're a part of God.
Mm-hmm.
The guides are a part of God. Our love.
Mm-hmm.
We're all a part of it. It's all that that oneness. So we're all interconnected. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go down. Then I'll get to come back to this because I want to keep on going down this list.
Okay.
I got two. This is two-parter for you.
Shauna says I'm loving this. That's good.
Oh, we're just getting started.
I'm getting nervous.
Don't get nervous.
Are you going easy first?
Yeah, I don't think any of these are hard. I think you'll be able to answer them.
Okay.
But this one, you might have to think a second.
Okay.
Two-parter. What is
All
your
right.
greatest strength? Along with that, we always have a greatest. What's your weakness? I mean, we all have a weakness with our strength. So what is your greatest strength, and what do you feel is your weakness?
Okay, so my strength, gosh, it's so hard to try to say
I know,
something positive about yourself, right? But
no, that's okay.
you know, but that's part of personal development.
Right.
My strength is I'm a people person.
For sure.
I think I'm a people person, and I think that has worked really well for my mediumship because I'm interested in others. I could have a conversation with anybody. I
Right.
can have a conversation with all sorts of people from all different places on different
Right.
walks of life, and I love it. I love it. So I love being a people person, and I think that's why I like being a medium because there's so many people I meet with my clients, and then their loved ones,
Right.
and I just love it so much. And that, yeah.
You're
So
a people
I'm a
person.
people person.
That's a great one. I think you have
That's
a lot of
my
compassion.
that's
though,
my
too. You have a lot of compassion, I think. So you don't just meet people. I think you've got a lot of compassion.
I'm
people. So
interested in. I'm interested.
Yeah, you
in
are.
them.
You actually
I'm
do like-
interested in
yeah.
people
Yeah.
and their story.
Right.
And their story. Yeah,
I-
I find it very.
I do that too.
I love that.
I call it the nosy side of myself, but I always say, just as I was telling you about that neighbor I told you across.
Yeah.
It's like I know there's a backstory there. Like
Yeah.
you just feel it. You know, there's a backstory. There's a
And it's
reason.
interesting to be able to sit and to sit and be with somebody and learn their story and their backstory because everyone has experiences and everyone is a little bit how they are because of those experiences and those stories.
Right.
And I love that. So I'm a people person. Yeah.
I
That's
like that
my
answer.
quality.
So now
What was the next one?
Oh, you're not getting out of that one. What's your weakness?
That's easier.
Is it really easier?
It's easier.
Oh,
I'm very impatient. I'm impatient. Like, for instance, my son likes to go to the grocery store, and I love my son to pieces. My younger son loves to go to the grocery store. He looks at all the ingredients on everything. Like, he reads and I'm like, just get that box of pasta. Let's go. He wants to read every ingredient in every box. It could take a long time to go there. And I love that he does that because he's so careful of what he eats.
Right.
And I'm just like, let's go. Like, I'm impatient. That's a fault.
I have the same fault. I thought it was the Italian in me. I'm very impatient, but I think it's just who I am.
Are any of you guys impatient?
We're not the only ones on here impatient. No. Let's see what they say. Okay, I'll go on to.
Hi, Leslie.
For sure, yeah. Okay, so here's another question. Besides, and you should be able to answer it. Besides mediumship, what gives you most passion and joy?
Oh, easy. And we all know I'm very passionate about the work, right?
Yes.
But I think it's important to be passionate with things. So I try to find things, and something that I'm very passionate about is design.
Oh,
I love decorating, and I love design.
Yeah,
love it.
I love it too. It's fun.
I love it.
I do too. It's fun. Seeing it come together.
Yeah, I love that. So I love to create. I love to work with color and with palettes, and it's probably why I liked photography a lot. That's why I probably had 50 sets in my studio.
Oh yeah,
because I love designing and creating the scenes and making it come to life. I loved it.
Yep.
So yeah.
See, we have some other impatient ladies on here. See, Sarah, Abby.
Abby's impatient. Okay, good.
Yep.
I mean, not good, but I mean, think I'm not alone. Okay, perfect.
So I know you're not doing the photography obviously professionally anymore. So what do you do on your free time? When you have free time? I mean, I'll say when you have free time these days. What do you like to do?
People watch.
What?
I know. I do. I like to people watch.
You
I
do?
I could sit outside and have a coffee and just watch people and not watch people in a bad light, but watch how they're holding hands or how they look at each other, or I'm into people.
Are you figuring out
I think
their
I'm
story?
into people.
Are you figuring out their story? Because
I'm not trying to read them.
No, I don't mean in a reading way.
I'm not trying to read them.
I don't mean that, but I mean trying to figure out kind of when you're looking at them, like
like how they're connecting and and the way they're connecting, because people connect differently, right? And I don't know. I like to people. That's probably a terrible answer, really, but
no.
What else do I like to do? Pilates.
Oh, are you back doing Pilates?
No.
Oh.
I'm not going to go there. I'm going in May.
Okay, I'm not going to go there. But
I'm waiting for something. I
was going 5 days a week, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And now, Grant, in fairness to you, you were working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And that in fairness. But I was over there at Pilates going, Monica, you coming? You going to come? You're going to make me do this all by myself? I do like Pilates.
I love Pilates, and it's my mission to make more time.
Evie says you also love nature, walking on the beach, which you do.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yes. See,
Yes.
thank you, Evie. Yes, I like watching. Yes.
Okay, Shauna has a question, which is on my list, Shauna, but she asked it first. Are either one of the boys, do they have the gift? Are they mediums? Do they have it?
I have not seen any mediumistic abilities, but I could say that my younger one is very intuitive. Like,
okay. So
beyond.
Could be there.
Definitely could be there.
Because it is, it is hereditary.
They're both very creative, and the creative, I think,
right.
is a part of it. To be, I think, a good medium, you have to be really creative and imaginative. And both of my boys are, but I think the younger one might be more into it.
Right. Because it is inherited. I mean, they say it comes from a line, right, of somewhere when you have that. I mean, not that everybody recognizes it as I'm a psychic medium, but the intuition or, the experiences. So wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, my grandmother was.
There you go. So was mine.
Your grandmother was?
My grandmother was.
Another thing in common.
But back in those days, it would never be. I mean, she would never have said.
Did she have cards and stuff like that?
No. I mean, this was a woman who was very, very religious. Like prayed the rosary every night. I mean, she talk about a line right to God. She had a line to God,
Beautiful.
And to the point where she actually saw saints. She actually had saints appear. I mean, this woman. So back in those days,
seen them.
Yeah, and she would have dreams. And I remember, and so I remember telling her when I was a little girl, when I saw my first ghost, and I told her, and it was like I looked at it years later.
Don't say ghost.
Well, spirit. To me, I was a little girl. That's what it was to me,
ghost.
Right? But a spirit. And I got scared. Unlike you, I was scared, and I realized years later when she told me, "Oh, it won't hurt you. It won't hurt you. It's nice." That what she was saying is that she'd been doing it her whole life, but never said, "Well, that's okay and it's normal."
Yeah,
I mean, she probably had that same ability. Yeah. Pretty interesting.
I wonder if they're hanging out together.
Probably. if your grandmother likes pasta, because I know that's mine. Does a lot of cooking up there. What I hear.
She's German. I don't know.
Oh, well, All right. See if we have any other. Oh yeah, Dawn says the airport. It's funny. Dawn says the airport's a great place because one of my answers when you said people watch, I was going to say, well, you should have been sitting at Phoenix Airport with me last night.
I love it.
It was packed. It was packed.
I love it. I love seeing how people maneuver through things and.
Ooh, I got a good question for you.
Okay.
What do you look for in? I know you have a lot of friends. What do you look for in your friendships?
I like them to be real. Yeah. I like the girls in my life to just be real. I just want them to be real, just real, yeah.
And you've had long-term friendships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know mine. I've had my best, like 40. I mean,
I haven't had them as long as you.
Long time.
You've had them like since you came out.
I do. You've met one, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I do have
and they're
one.
lovely, and it's wonderful. Yeah. I think having girlfriends is really important, and I think whether your tribe is big or small, as long as your tribe is supportive and brings out your, I'm really lucky with my girlfriends.
That's how I feel.
Haven't we all had to kind of spring clean a little bit in our lives?
I've unloaded a couple.
I've had to spring clean, a little bit just because things weren't meshing anymore. Because, we change, they change, life changes, and you're just not in the same season anymore. But
no, I feel lucky too. I mean, the ones I've had, like I said, many, many, many years, we're all still very close.
Yeah. All of my girlfriends are really good cooks, too. And I have 5 Italian friends, 5 full Italian friends.
Really?
And they all that's about, and of course they cook their Italian, right? Because you guys just have that in your gene.
I just love my grandmother.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I have 5 friends, very close friends that are Italian. Others that aren't, but they can all cook except for me.
But you're going to learn how to cook. We talked about
that.
Yeah,
I have a girlfriend that's always sending me recipes. Yeah. This one's easy, Monica.
Yeah, I've told you that. I'll send
Try this one. You'll love it. It's 3 ingredients. That's it.
Super easy. Super easy. Let's see. Do we have any new questions up? I don't see any new questions.
Hold on. I have to scroll it. You got to look on your phone.
I am. I don't see any new ones. You guys have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to keep on rolling here.
Keep rolling.
Okay. I'll keep rolling. Okay. If you weren't a medium, what would you be today?
A designer.
I can see that.
A designer. I go to a girlfriend's house, like they'll struggle, like they can cook, but it's like they can't, they're maybe not so good with paint color, and I can come in and go, that one. and boom, it's the perfect one. Like I'm really good with my eye like that. So I'll pick the paint and they'll make lunch. It's perfect.
It's perfect. 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 So I'm getting some of the
I'll get the pillows and the paint and the throw. I could do all that, stage it, and then they'll do lunch.
Yeah, Shauna's just saying the same thing. It's she'd know where she'd be without her girlfriends.
Yeah, girlfriends are important, and I don't really think it's something. My dad always said to me, when I was in high school, he used to say, "These aren't your friends. You don't have this many friends. These aren't your friends. You can count your friends on one hand." We used to fight about that,
but it's true
because I was always like a people person. Like, no, they're all my friends, but he was
they're
right.
not all your close friends.
Yeah, he was right, and he just meant like you have that many that you can really just that will be at your door when you're on your knees.
I could tell you.
Like you can have friends that if you're on your knees, and I have been, and they've been at the doorbell.
I've been there myself,
and I never forget those friends because they show up.
I'm gonna tell a funny story because obviously this move was rough to Texas, rougher than I would have ever bargained for, to the point where my tribe, my girlfriends that have been with me many years, were there along the way. They listened to me cry. This one, okay, is my friend. Every time it got to its worst moment, and I'm not lying, I don't even know if I've told you this, the phone would ring, and there was, I'm not going to lie now, I'm going to tell the truth. There was there was a time or two that I'm like, oh, I just can't, and I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe once I was in such a bad state, and I always called you back. You know which times I'm talking about, maybe where I've called you back. I mean,
okay,
but because it's like when you have a friend that's a psychic medium, it's like you can't pick up the phone and go, everything's great in Texas, I'm doing great. You just can't, right? And so there were just those times where I was like, I just can't right now, but I always called you back. But that's kind of the
so I must have felt that
there
was a need.
And I look at it and go, psychic medium friend, and
she's feeling me again.
Knows. I'd be like, and you did, and it was just sometimes at that point I was like, oh my God, I just can't cry anymore. I just can't do this anymore. But I don't know if I even shared that with you.
No,
that's true. See, now I shared something with you, but I always called you right back. I mean, I just had to collect my thoughts. But back to that tribe, they know. They're always there by your side. That's for sure.
No matter big or small.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I'm looking at my phone, guys. Okay. Couple of questions. Okay. Christine wants to know, how would you recommend someone begin working on developing the psychic abilities, mediumship?
How to begin? Commit. It's a commitment. I think that you have to be willing to want to make changes in your life to do it. I think have a clear intention on why you want to develop it. I think because spirit will respond to that if that intent is pure. And I would say awareness is really key. And I kind of feel like too, there's a lot of people that want to know about how to do all that, and not necessarily people that want to actually do something with it.
It's a commitment.
There's this need to want to understand and not necessarily want to do it as a profession because, but maybe you do, and it's lovely if you do. But I think start seeking out people who you can learn from a little bit. Take a beginner's course, sit in meditation and awareness, and set the intent to want to do it, and spirit will respond.
And a mentor down the road, right? Because you had a mentor, a teacher mentor that really helped.
Yeah. He brought me to the next place for sure. He polished me.
Because it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment. And it's a big commitment because I think a lot changes when you get into this work. I think you change as a person, but I think that when you do this work, a lot opens up within yourself. A lot of personal healing has to happen. A lot of personal healing within you does happen when you go on this journey. Let me just say that.
Right.
For sure.
Right, which you went through quite a bit.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, another question. So Kathy's asking, when you do the readings, do you feel what the person's going through?
Yeah, of course.
Hence the phone calls. Always at the time where I'm like,
sometimes I feel like I'm just all these antennas, and I just kind of be directed.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, and we're all really one big walking antenna.
Exactly.
We all are no different. I just feel like mine's always moving me in different places.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I just kind of got this,
Got another one. Christine wants to know, what is the most important thing that mediumship has taught you? A good question.
Say that question again.
Okay. What is the most important thing that mediumship has taught you?
Compassion. Compassion, because and compassion and the importance of relationships. And I think that we love our friends, we love our family,
Right.
but when you do the work, you recognize the dynamics of relationships in a different way and how those relationships impact you in different ways. So, and then there's compassion for that because some of these relationships were hard and some of these you know what I mean? So there's compassion and the importance of these relationships. We need relationships in our life. We're not to be a lone wolf. You know, we need relationships. And I think that mediumship has really had me understand that relationships.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Lisa wants to know, do you ever have spirit from family or friends that have passed communicate with you? Which that was one of my questions about your own family or friends. Do you?
Right.
That was one of my questions.
Okay. So, okay. So this is weird because I will feel the presence of my loved ones. I will feel my father with me. I will feel my kid's father step in. I will feel people. I never open up to communicate with them. So ever. I believe, and maybe another medium would agree with me, if other mediums, but I believe that this gift is not for me when it comes to the readings. I think the gift is to give the readings, and then if I want a reading, I'll go somewhere for a reading.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I will feel them, and sometimes they'll come in and they'll just communicate with me, but I never open up to have a session.
An actual session with them.
Or to want to have dialogue. Gotcha. I really don't. I know that's strange to hear because so many people like, how do I connect with my loved one? How do I connect with my mom? How do I connect with my son? How do I, and I completely understand the wanting of that.
Right.
But I never do. Not to say that they don't sometimes come in. But I really think like my work is to give it
to others.
It's to give to others.
Right.
It's not for myself.
Right. And as you said, if you have a loved one, you'll get the impression, or you'll hear it, right?
Yeah. They'll come in, but I never look for it.
You don't go for an actual reading.
No. That's me.
Okay. We already asked that. Okay. Let's lighten it up here for a second, even lighter. Where's been your favorite place to travel and why? And where do you still want to travel to?
Okay. I haven't seen a lot of the United States. I've seen a lot of outside of the United States. So I would say I really, really loved my trip with my husband to Bali. Loved it. And he loved it. And I want to say the Czech Republic is probably my favorite place. Czechoslovakia, Prague. So I loved Prague. You could buy a Euro, what are those things? Those big pancakes?
Not a yurt.
No, what are those? Crepes.
Oh,
a gigantic
crepe food?
Yeah, you could buy for €3 a huge like
you covered your head. I thought it was shelter.
Well, it was this big.
You're talking about food, and you're covering your head like a yurt.
No, I was trying to make a circle.
Oh, like that is a big crepe, lady.
A huge crepe, and I mean, I loved Prague. It was such a clean city. It was really inexpensive. It was so
I've
old.
heard that.
It was so old. It was super clean. The food was very cozy food. It was rode bicycles everywhere. I loved Prague. So that's my favorite place. And where do I want to go?
Yep.
I was supposed to go to Lake Como, Italy.
Right.
I've been to Italy, but not
Last
Lake
year.
Como or Sicily, and that's where we wanted to go. And then, of course, COVID. So that would probably be my first stop with my husband.
Maybe this year?
I'm trying to go this year. If it works. I don't know if it will.
But that's kind of on my list, too.
I would like to do that, Lake Como. And, I love Italy. But Prague, I like Prague.
Nice. Cheryl was asking, Cheryl Thompson.
She
has a good friend who is also a medium,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's difficult because she sees me for me, right? Right. So she says,
Yes.
do your friends feel the same way around you? And I'm going to answer that before you do. Absolutely don't. Like, I don't ever feel like I have very open dialogue with her. I think I think it's one particular time I'm even thinking of. I was just so down in the dumps. It wouldn't have mattered if Mother Teresa came to my door. I probably wouldn't have talked to her either. I was just having that kind of day.
Mm.
So I've never felt that way, like anything, because you know me, right? You know me
Well, but
from
I
what I've
also
told
gave,
you.
yeah, but I also gave you a couple of readings before we were
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, I've had readings. So yeah.
I think what she's kind of saying is, and I kind of agree
Okay.
with her, because like I don't give my kids readings,
Right.
and I want to, because I really want them to have a really good reading and connect with their dad. But I also know that I can hinder their healing, because
Yes.
they'll say, "Oh, but mom, but you knew that," even if it was,
Right.
that's what dad wanted to come in and say. But because I knew their dad, they might question, and so
Right.
it would hinder their healing process, and so I could never give them a reading. So I think that you don't want to know too much about the person. That's why when I do readings, I don't want to know anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so you've done the readings, but like, I mean, I will tell you
But they bring you different information.
When we're being candid here, I will tell you in our conversations, and I don't know if I've ever said this to you either, that I know sometimes she knows something
I'm learning a lot
about me. But she'll ask me a question, and she does this thing with her lip, and I'll answer her, and I'm thinking, she knows exactly what the hell is going on, and she's either not going to tell me, she's going to let me map this out, but she'll do this thing with her lip, and I don't think I've ever told you that, but I know she knows. And she'll just kind of listen, hear me out. So yes, that does happen. And you know what though, I don't pry. And I even told you earlier, I said, you know what, I'm going on the journey. I don't,
yeah, I don't want to hinder your journey.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But she does know sometimes, and I can tell by the look in her face when she's asking me certain questions.
But I kind of say, like, if you know it all and
That's
you know
fun,
everything, that's not going to be fun. It's like,
right.
like I use this as an example in one of my workshops. I said, like, if you're a quarterback and you just got, picked to be on this football team, and they said, you know what, every year you're going to win the Super Bowl, it sound exciting, but after a while you kind of know you're going to win every game. It becomes less fun. And so I think you have to step into your journey excited and not know it. And because I think by knowing it, you might edge yourself in the wrong direction,
right.
and not allow it to take. And I don't ever want to do that. That's why I don't like to give a lot of predictions.
Right. Well, and that was a conversation, like I told you earlier prior to this even going on. I said, I'm just going to go along for the ride. I feel it's fine, and whatever is. And part of all my downfalls in my world has always been because I'm trying to control it all anyway. So kind of,
note to self.
Yeah.
Stop controlling.
That was me. So, that's kind of where we're at.
It's a lot better when we don't control. It's hard, huh? Do you guys like to control things?
I can't be the only one. I'm the only one. Oh, hey, so
we've all done it.
So
we all do it.
Yeah. Abby says, wait a minute, Monica, crepes are originally from France.
I know, Abby.
Yeah.
I know, and they're the best there too, by the way. Hey, Abby, have you been to Angelina's in Paris? The hot chocolate place? Do you know if that's still there?
Oh.
Angelina's? They have like this super amazing hot chocolate.
So Lori Ann.
Hi, Lori Ann.
Is going to Lake Como into 2022. So she's going.
Oh my God. You're going to have an amazing time. That I'm going to predict.
Oh, you'll make that prediction.
I'm going to make that prediction. You're going to have an amazing time.
Very nice.
And it's going to be gorgeous. I know it.
All right. I'm going to ask you some more. I'm working down my list.
All right. Go.
I think I know the answer to this, but I think they probably know the answer. Your favorite food and cocktail. What is it?
Tacos and margaritas.
Oh,
everybody knows that.
We're going to make that happen afterwards.
Yeah, tonight.
Yep. Okay. Elisa's saying sorry for your son's dad's passing.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah, was it a while ago?
About 15 years now,
15 years. Yeah, pretty young. The boys were young.
Yeah, the boys were 12. Sure. They just started school. It was like the first week of school in September. Like it was 8th grade and 10th grade. Yeah.
So even tougher to navigate with young kids, right?
Awful.
All right, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, okay. So I'm not a big TV watcher. At least I wasn't always. No, but Big Bang Theory, because whenever I need a lift, I always watch Big Bang. Because Sheldon
he's funny.
Sheldon, I love the Big Bang Theory. I love it. I can never get tired of it. It's kind of like an I Love Lucy episode. You can watch it a million times and still laugh. That's how Big Bang Theory is for me.
Yeah.
But I think I'm kind of into the Bridgertons.
I
The Bridgertons.
Is that on Netflix or something?
It was this show that I just kind of caught. Yeah, now
regular TV, like on cable or on Netflix.
Isn't that regular TV now?
No.
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 Oh, and Netflix. It's I like period pieces. So it's kind of a period piece, but it's kind of a modern
you're
period
talking about.
Bridgertons. Bridgertons.
You're close. I know. I haven't seen it.
The really handsome guy, and he got it's great. And do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, tell me what it. Do you guys know it? Apparently, it was the most watched Netflix series of all time.
That's Netflix. That's what I just said. So it is Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. It's Netflix. Okay. I'm just. It's amazing. Love it. So totally into that, and I like The Crown.
Oh, okay. I've heard that's a good one too.
Oh my God, it was good. Yeah, I binge watched that one.
Abby said yes, it's still there. Your little chocolate place.
You're kidding. There. It is. Angelina's is still there. Wow. Mm-hmm. Good for them. They deserve to be there.
Do you like Italian food? You love Italian food, right?
I love Italian food.
Yeah, you like it. So Evie just put, how about The Crown? You just answered.
Yeah, The Crown. I think, Evie, did you tell me about The Crown to watch on one of these lives? Did you give that as a TV show during COVID?
Bridgerton.
If you guys have not watched Bridgerton, I am telling you, it is worth it. You will love it.
Sabrina loves Big Bang. Christine says Crown is better. Yep, great show.
Yeah, I love The Crown. What's another one?
Outlander. Lorianne said watch Outlander.
Oh my, but it gets a little violent, and I can't handle that.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it, and then I would sometimes find myself getting up to walk away because it gets really violent, and I can't handle all that bloodshed. I don't like it, but I loved the show, and I loved the little romance, and I loved the whole idea, but I just wish I had less bloodshed. It was for me. But that is a good one.
This one, Christine's asking, and I've heard about it, but I don't think I've seen it. Midwives. Did you watch Midwives yet?
No,
okay, so that's excellent. So okay, all right.
Oh, but you know what I love?
What?
Documentaries.
I watch those.
Oh my God,
a maniac.
I love documentaries.
Me too.
I just watched one the other day on Ralph Lauren.
I watched it.
You watched it?
I watched it.
Yeah. He is a dream. I
love those documentaries.
When I go to Manhattan, when I go to New York, I have to go to his store. He has a store on Madison. He bought it was in the documentary, he bought this mansion and made it into a store. It's on 7th and Madison in Manhattan. And it is everything. Yeah. It is everything. It is it's visually so beautiful and stimulating. I love that store, and I love his design, and I love his clothes. I love him.
Yeah, I love documentaries.
I love that documentary. I love again, it's about life and
that's
people's stories, and I love documentaries.
I always on Netflix go right
Ralph
down to
Lauren,
documentaries. I've been watching all kinds of stuff on there. I mean, I'm
like,
oh, that person was interesting, and you always learn so much interesting information from that you didn't know, right? You think you know.
I love that,
and
I love that. I like real stuff.
Me too.
I like real people, real life.
All right,
real stuff, documentaries.
Okay, let's see. Okay, how do you unwind and rejuvenate?
I clean.
That's right, you are cleaning.
I clean.
That's right.
I get so much pleasure out of cleaning. And here's the thing: is I'm kind of a multitasker. It cleans my house and it distresses me. Yeah. Whenever, my husband will say, if I start really going, he goes, "What's on your mind?
What happened?
What's on your mind?"
What happened?
I will just cleaning, cleaning and decluttering. I cannot stand clutter.
Elisa said she likes Hallmark shows.
Ooh, that's probably good. Those are good too, right?
Yeah,
Feel good.
Lifetime. Except for you always know the ending. It's like my husband loves Lifetime and Hallmark movies, and my mother. Both of them. My husband.
Really?
And he'll put them on. I said, "Oh, gee, I wonder how this is going to end."
What a mush.
They're going to fall in love. They're going to have a little hard times, but they're going to walk away and they're going to kiss out. I mean, it's always the same ending, but they're cute.
But it's different characters.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Yeah. They were reusing the same characters for a while. But I love the Christmas ones. The Christmas ones.
Oh, yeah,
those are good. Okay. What's your favorite movie of all time, since we're talking about TV movies?
Up.
I think I just saw that for the first time.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Up. Have you guys seen Up?
Yeah.
I love Up. It's like this little story of this little man, and then he lost his wife, and he travels to take the house with them. It's so oh my gosh. I love it.
We have more suggestions and things.
Yeah, Titanic too. I like Titanic.
That was good too.
Yeah, Titanic.
Question. Do you find it easier to connect in person or via Zoom? We've talked about it. Doesn't matter, huh?
I'm loving Zoom.
Yeah.
I might only do Zoom.
Yeah. Same thing, right?
Yeah, I might only do Zoom from now on. I'm really loving it. It's efficient. People are really comfortable in their homes. The connection is no different.
Right.
I'm loving. I love it. I love it. You can get so much more in in our session because there's so much more time. You can get right into the meat and potato. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
So you were
Zoom.
saying earlier.
Yeah, love it. Love, love, love.
Another suggestion
Yeah.
from a couple people watching.
Okay.
Watch Dear Zachary. I don't know what that
Ooh,
one is.
Dear Zachary?
Netflix, I'm assuming.
Yeah, is it on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu?
Prime, Discovery
Prime.
Plus.
I mean, there's
I
so
don't know.
many. Like, is there like 3,000 channels now?
I'm
or-
signed up for all of them.
Are you?
Yes, that's how much TV I had to watch the first few months to entertain myself. Discovery. I love all those channels, and now I can get them commercial free for an extra for $6.99 a month. That's well worth it.
That's a deal. That's a bargain.
Yeah, all those great channels.
Yeah,
But
beats cable.
let's see. I don't know yet which one Dear Zachary. Somebody will tell us.
Okay, yeah. Let us know. Dear
Okay.
Zachary.
Okay. All right. What's the last thing you bought? It was price day. What did you buy?
I'm in.
What did you buy last? What is it? And I don't know this answer. It's just written down.
Oh, a bathing suit.
Oh,
I bought a bathing suit.
really?
Well, summer's coming.
I'm not sure I'm going
It's
there.
a one piece.
I'm not sure I'm going there yet.
It's a one
Oh,
piece.
you got a onesie? Got a
Well,
onesie?
I got a
You're in
onesie.
a onesie? Okay.
I think I'm over the 2-piece.
I think this
I'm a
might
one
be
piece.
the year.
I'm a one-piece girl now.
It's funny. I think
It's white with a little bit of gold, and it's like netted. It's cute.
funny. I put on a bikini only because it was like 80 degrees last weekend, and my husband, oh, let's lay out by the pool. And I said, I don't think I have a suit that really fits me right now. But I had only my bikinis, and I put one on, and I was laying there saying, I think I'm going to graduate to a onesie. I think I'm finally hitting that. I don't
love
care.
it. Next thing I'm going to
I
have
don't
to
care.
do is just wear glasses everywhere I go. I'm going to get to that
Yeah,
point too.
I mean, there's some very cute suits.
There's
Quite
very
frankly,
cute
I think
suits.
one pieces are cuter anyway.
I don't want to fall out, and
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
I gotta own that.
Exactly.
I've reached the one piece status,
And
and
I'm good.
and I'm good with it.
We
I'm
hit,
good- I'm good
see
with
another
it.
thing. We hit at the same time. We're both going into one pieces this summer.
It's amazing.
There you go. All right. So, what's your guilty pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure?
Hair tools.
Yeah, I kind of into that.
Hair
one.
tools.
Mhm.
I have every hair tool you can imagine. Every hair tool you can imagine. Kink, curl, rod, big barrel, medium-sized barrel, hair straightener, mini hair straightener that curls, a blow brush, a dry brush,
Oh, gosh.
a brush that straightens your hair. I have everything.
I know,
That is
I
my
know.
guilty pleasure.
Gotcha.
I have you covered with anything you could
I can't
possibly
wait.
need at my house tomorrow.
I can't wait. I told you
Anything.
when I got here. I said, "Oh my God, Texas
Beach
is,
waiver, I got it all.
Texas is wreaking. It's just ravaging my hair with this hard water." So I said, "I'll be going to your house. I know she's got the best products. I'll be looking for some of those tools tomorrow." So I'm excited.
And remember, get that Garnier mineral water.
Yeah, you were saying for my face.
Yeah. It's
Definitely.
like CVS, it's cheap and it makes your skin feel really good and it cleans your skin.
Dear Zachary's on Prime. You have Prime?
Prime. Dear Zachary.
Yeah, do you have
Okay.
Prime?
Sure.
Oh,
I don't know how to work my TV, by the way.
Monica wants to know
do-
how old we are. And
Who
we
wants
are,
to know?
Monica.
Oh, Monica wants to know how old we are?
And you know what? You said you could ask him anything. You're younger than me.
I'm 54.
I'm 54. I'll be 55 in September. And you'll be 55
In December.
in December.
So we're a
You're younger.
couple months. I'll take it.
Yeah. Graduated the onesie.
You're my big sister.
Yeah. The big one. All right. Moving on. Okay. Here's one. I think you might have covered this a little, but do your boys always, it's like any mother, I think. Do your boys listen to all your advice?
They're smart.
Yeah.
But wouldn't we all say the same, right?
Mhm.
Mothers? Because, we just have life experience,
Yeah.
right? So do they always listen? No. Do they usually listen? Yes. They
do.
really do.
That's
They
good.
usually listen to me. I think it's because of my tone that I use. Like I have a certain tone, like when I'm
They
trying to
don't
get a point.
serious, Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if they want to do other stuff that's not, but if there's something they really need to listen to me, like
Yeah.
I have a certain tone to it. Yeah, they usually listen, but not always.
My boys
But
do
I
that
think
too.
our kids should always listen to us. Don't you guys agree? They should always listen to us.
Mm-hmm. I think my kids definitely do. I mean, they can tell, like you just said, there's a tone.
There's a tone,
And I
the
get
tone
more
changes, and they
serious.
know it. They're smart.
I talk slow and low when I'm serious.
I
it's-
talk intense.
No, I'm very low. When I get real slow in my talk, it's like she probably means business. But I think the kids,
Good to know.
yeah, I know.
Good to know.
Hasn't happened yet, so you're good. Oh, let's see if you're really going to be candid and upfront. I hope there's nothing bad with this next question. What's the last picture you took on your phone?
An area rug.
Is it really?
show you.
All right.
It's an area rug. I'm telling you, I like design.
Yeah.
An area rug. Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. All right. It's an area rug. All right. Just
Well, I guess if I'm totally honest, I took a picture of that before because I'm getting rid of all of my furniture in here. So I had to take pictures of that, but like a real picture, like out like yesterday.
That's a real picture.
Wasn't
that's what you took.
Okay, then
Yes, that's
this
it.
couch.
Yeah. Okay.
Boring.
Yeah. I was hoping for something a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of let me down on that.
I know. I'm a bore.
That's okay. Oh no, you're not a bore. All right. Switching it up. What is because you are going to be 55. What's retirement going to look like for you?
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna live in the desert. I'm gonna get one of those vans. You're like, it's getting scary, nomad. No, I'm gonna get one of those.
Sprinter.
I think they are kind of like
They're
a sprinter.
The Mercedes Sprinter.
Yeah, my girlfriend has one, and you open up at the back. It's got like a double bed, and it's got like a kitchen and everything. Right. And I want to travel around different parts. Like I want to go to Louisiana, and I want to go to Zion, and I want to go to Yellowstone, and that's something I want to do. And I want to take my grandkids to Disney World and a Disney cruise ship, and I want to take them everywhere. I already told my kids, like, when those babies come, you guys are to the side. When they're 5, they come with me.
Trust
me. I'm going
to
do all of those things. So my husband's on board.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to do like traveling. I want to be a grandma. I'm going to teach them how to bake cookies. That's all I know. We're going to have arts. I'm going to be a grandma. I want to be a grandma, and I want to travel in one of those little vans and see the United States.
Yeah.
Like a little jerk, like 30 days.
I was telling you that when I said
like,
your life, you're going to a different stage,
yes,
right? So my granddaughter will be 6 this year, but I tell you what, I just love hanging with her. And honestly, love all those boys. I could really care. I just really want to be with her. I want to hang with my granddaughter and go do fun stuff. And you will. And that's
I remember
part.
when I was a photographer, and I had this grandma that always came to me to take her granddaughters for pictures. And I asked her, I said, is there any, like, how is it being a grandma? And she says, oh, like nothing else. Mm-hmm. Like, I said, how is it because you're a mom? And she goes, oh no. I mean, it's a whole nother experience. And she just really, I never forgot that lady that always came for pictures with her grandkids. Yep. And she was in love with those grandkids. And she said that. And so, and I believe that. And I'm looking forward to that one time. So I figure like when they are 5, I'm going to start taking, that's how old my kids were when I started traveling with them. Yep. So that's what I'm going to do with my grandkids. And I've already told my kids and my future daughter-in-law that that's happening. So
that's good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my granddaughter, she's like my little angel. I mean, do you think I would have said that when I was raising my boys, my little angels? No, I think what it is when you're raising kids, you've got the stress of everything going on, right? We get a little older, life supposedly settles down a little bit. We have more time to really enjoy it. And really, we can spoil them and we get to send them home, so it's like you can spoil them for a day or two. And
that's good.
That's the fun.
Yeah, that's good because it's not the work, it's only the play.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Lori was saying she loves being a grandma.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I bet. Do they have a special name for you? Like what would you want to be? What is
you know what I'm called?
I don't remember anymore. Nani?
No, Bonka.
Bonka, that's right.
She calls me Bonka. We do not know why.
My friend Mary is called the other one.
Yeah. Sorry. I have no idea. That's what she started calling me at probably a year old. And I said, I think she was trying to say grandma. Yeah. I think. And it was Bonka, and then she just stuck with it. Now it's just
that.
And I asked her, I said, so what's my name? And she says, well, you have 3 names. You're Bonka, Grandma, and Gia. But I call you Bonka. And I said, so it just stuck.
I love that.
Now, will my other grandchildren call me that
I don't care
someday?
what they call me. As long as it's sweet. I don't know.
Yeah,
it could be Grandma. It could be Nani. It could be, I don't know, whatever they want to call me.
Well, they kind of figured it out, right? And who knows what the rest
My kids had a grandma. They called her Grandma T.
Oh, really?
It was Grandma T. Grandma T.
Somebody else. Oh, Chris said that she took her grandkids to Disney World last year. She said it's so much fun. So she took her little grands. Yep. Yep. Love being a grandma.
I'm gonna be a good grandma.
Oh, you're gonna be.
I love kids.
Oh, Christine's a Gigi. I like that name. I would have been great.
Good.
I would have been great with a Gigi. I mean, I'm Gia.
You could have been totally Gigi. Why did change it?
I got
ask her.
Bonka. Well, I don't think we can change it at this stage of the game because that's just what
you want to put a name in the hat and say it's time for a new name.
We're gonna go with a new name. But Gigi, I love that. I hear that one a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like Gigi. One. That's a good one.
Yeah. Jeannie says, I want to be a Gigi. I want
My
to be
girlfriend's
a Gigi.
mom, my girlfriend's grandma name is Mimi.
Oh, I've heard that.
She's
That's
Mimi.
cute. That's cute.
And
That's
I have
cute.
one that's another friend has
Mhm.
Moni. Mona.
Mona?
Mona.
I've heard
Mona.
that one.
I don't know why that's a doesn't really even sound like a grandma name, but Mimi is my other friend's grandma. Anyway, okay.
I got a couple more personal
Okay.
questions.
Go
Then we're
ahead.
going to swing over to some mediumship questions.
Okay.
And well, here's one for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you never leave home without, and why? Other than that purse. I mean, we know the purse. What's in that purse, actually? What do you carry in that purse?
Too many lipsticks that I can't wear because of the masks.
Yeah,
I have
a ton
I'm
in there
like,
too.
oh, I just so many. I probably have 12 masks in my purse. I never
Full of lipstick, smudge.
and tons
Yeah,
of lipstick,
I know.
and I just actually cleared it out, and now I only have 3 lipsticks. But
I have more than you.
and they're heavy. They weigh on you
I've
after
got
a while.
about
You have
9
too
or
many
10.
lipsticks.
Yes.
Do you guys have a lot of lipsticks in your purse too?
I can't say that I wear all but maybe 1 or 2 of them, but they're all in there.
But you never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Sunglasses. I never leave home without sunglasses.
I always have my sunglasses. At least 2 pairs.
I always have to have sunglasses.
With me.
Yeah.
Too. Okay. Let's see here. This is really off the cuff, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Who's your favorite housewife in the franchise and why? I know you're watching that Bravo Housewife show.
I have been watching the Housewives for 15 years.
All right, well then lay it out there.
What was the question?
Well, who's your favorite? Don't tell me who your least favorite is.
Who's my favorite housewife?
Just a favorite, yeah.
Well, I love New York, and so I'm having a lot of fun with Leah.
Oh, she's cool.
New.
Huh? Yeah.
She, because she's a little crazy.
Oh, she is.
Because I like a little crazy, but she's real, and I like real. Mm-hmm. I like Sonia a lot too. Sonia's always my favorite too because Sonia is real. She's not trying to be something she's not. She just keeps it real, and she's not afraid to be herself, and I really admire that. I admire that. And Leah is fun because she's a little bit crazy, but she's creative. And she has a great figure.
Anybody else have a favorite in the
franchise?
Any
of you guys watch The Housewives? Have you guys watched The Housewives?
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I mean, they've been...
New York is probably my favorite. But have you heard? Oh, yeah. Have you watched Utah?
Yeah.
Did you see the news on?
No, we don't go there. Yeah. But yeah, I watched the Utah. I got to say, I love the Jersey girls because they are Italian and they are...
Jersey is off the shelf.
They are off the shelf.
They are off the shelf. They are. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know who needs a show? The husbands.
Oh, Joe.
They need a show.
Hysterical. Yeah, I like
those guys are almost funner to watch than even the girls.
The guys. They
are hilarious.
Yeah, they have their own little club.
They need their own show.
Yeah, I do like Jersey. I like Dallas too.
I don't watch Dallas.
Yeah, I mean,
I never got into Dallas because I don't know why I haven't gotten into Dallas, but I hear a lot of things about it.
Kat, I forgot about Beverly Hills. Yes, I like Beverly Hills too.
I think that's got a little bit over the top.
The one that's gotten to be my
top now. It's almost unrelatable now.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills gotten a little bit, and they're beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful, and God, their clothes are gorgeous, and visually, it's beautiful to watch.
Right,
they're beautiful, and their clothes are beautiful, and their homes are beautiful. Visually, it's very stimulating, but it feels like a little unconnectable.
I get that.
Just my opinion.
No,
I like them all. They're all fun.
Oh, okay. Here's my last personal question before I switch up. Well, I'll probably have some more. They'll come into my head. But if you could spend a day with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why? Good question.
Past or alive?
Alive, anybody.
Princess Diana.
Really?
Princess Diana. Because she did a lot of charity work.
She did.
She was very compassionate to people. She loved the children. I might catch her on a day where she's on the yacht.
Might.
Beyonce style.
I think she would be very interesting to have met.
I think that she would have been, I think that she had a compassionate heart and she dressed, she was always very fashionable.
Her life was cut way too short.
Really beautiful manners. I have a day with somebody, Princess Diana.
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let's go with some mediumship questions. And if you guys have any that you want to ask, put them up there. Oh, Sarah, I like The Bachelor because...
Never got into that.
I did maybe a season or two.
I have a girlfriend that's totally into it. I never got into it.
Oh, Christine has a question.
Okay.
Do you have any tips to be able to better remember your dreams?
Yes. Sleep with the notebook pad next to your bed and write it down the moment you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to journal.
Journal it.
You got to journal it.
Definitely.
If you get in the habit of that, you can do the same thing with your intuitive thoughts, your intuitive hits, keep a journal, and then you'll start seeing, oh my, that happened, that happened, that happened. And you'll start believing, because I think that when we have these abilities, oftentimes we push them off. Like that was a coincidence or that. But when you start tracking it and you start noticing like, wow, that happened, then you'll start trusting that you have intuitive abilities. And by doing that, you'll trust yourself when you're receiving it, and then you'll be able to make better decisions. You'll be able to be guided more. And I just think it's just really the only thing that prevents us from doing that more is the belief that the trust in ourselves and what we're receiving.
It's funny because my question right at the top, which I think you just kind of addressed. So, well, what it says is, do you think we all have some sort of abilities that can be trained, right? So I think you just answered that, that we do kind of push it off.
Yeah, I mean, intuitively, for sure. Yes. I mean, you think we're put down here without some guidance system to help navigate us through the waters that are oftentimes very, tumultuous.
Sabrina's got a question that's on my list. Hi, Sabrina. Well, she asked it a little differently. This is on my list, so we're going to ask it. Have you ever done a reading for someone who had lost someone famous? So have you ever had a celebrity or someone famous come through a reading?
Many times.
Tell us who. Can you tell us who?
No.
Anybody?
I will tell you several. I will tell you that several of them were musical.
Yeah, that was on my list.
It was?
Yes, I have that question.
Musical people. A lot of musical people.
Really?
And
so readings locally here.
2
you've done probably down in this area. I'm getting this out of her at dinner.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
I got to know about this, so
no,
I didn't know that answer.
Yes, and I'll tell you, one was fascinating.
Really?
Fascinating.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, no. Are you guys liking this?
Yeah, they're saying they're.
Are you liking this?
Yeah, they said they're having fun with it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, tell us if we're just rattling on.
Yeah, you want us to push faster.
Yeah, I'm kind of gonna go through these a little bit faster.
We haven't seen each other.
I know, catching up online. Okay. Do you believe in past lives, and if so, do we align with the same souls in our current lifetime?
All right. Well, I've talked about this kind of before. Like, I'm not really a great person to ask about past lives because I don't really follow it. And I'm not saying it isn't right or isn't true or isn't real, but I kind of focus on this life. I think there's enough to get through here. Okay. So I don't focus on the past lives. But do I believe sure.
That souls have met in past lives, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But like, I don't want to think about like, was my husband, someone else, my brother or my girlfriend's husband or something. I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to know that.
But our souls have probably met a time or two before. I think it's
and I think because I think like for instance, like when I met my husband, there was such a connection, and there was such a connection. There was no like it was. So I think there's something deeper there. So sure, I believe So yes, to answer your question, yes, but I'm not really the authority on reincarnation.
So I have a mediumship question from Sue.
Hi, Sue.
She says, I literally feel like I have a wind tunnel going through my ears when I'm connecting to spirit. Is this a sign that they're present? I'm still trying to develop.
You might be opening up your clairaudience. Like when clairvoyance opens up, you start getting impressions on your head right before you go to sleep. You start getting impressions in your third eye. It could be clairaudience, which is usually one of the last things to come when you receive different ways of communicating, but maybe it's going to be a stronger suit for you. It's a possibility. Again, pay attention. It's a calling card possibly as well, because spirit will give you calling cards to let you know that maybe your team is moving in with you, working closely with you. It could very well be a calling card, because they'll do that to give you ways to know that, okay, we're moving in, here we are, we're with you, we're supporting you, we're helping you. And so that might be a calling card for you. So I would definitely consider that and pay attention. When is it coming in, right? When you start reading, like pay attention to when you're receiving that, like when you're starting to work, when is it coming in? Because it might just be them letting you know that they're coming to help you. because really our guides really work with us
Right.
in
Yeah.
in mediumship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer. All right.
Hope that helped.
Prior to when you're doing a reading, okay, do the clients who you're going to be reading, do their loved ones ever come prior to you coming in to meet with your
Before
client?
the reading?
Yeah, in other words, you're home, with your styling products, doing your thing.
My 100 tools.
Yeah, doing your tools.
Doing my tools.
Do you ever get a visit from maybe a loved one prior to the actual reading where they're just...
Yeah,
okay.
sure. Yeah, but sometimes I don't know who it belongs to, because like if I'm in the morning and I'm like having coffee and I'm feeling aware, like I had a shooter come to me. So he was a shooter. He came to me with all of his guns.
Oh.
And so, but I didn't know.
Gotcha.
That came in right before, like the morning that I did a audience reading. And so I didn't know where that person was positioned with the 12 readings I did.
But he was there.
But then it showed up.
That's
so then I put it together. Or yes. To answer your question, yes. Not all the time, but fairly irregularly, frequently.
Some are excited.
Yeah.
They want to make
very
sure
excited.
They get excited, right?
Some of them get very excited. Yeah, some of them get very excited. And also they want you to know. Like I told you I had this one gentleman that came to me in my hotel room as I was emailing the mother. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I know you've covered this before, but she says, Monica says, I have smells that come around me. Is that spirit?
Yes.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. Does it smell like somebody familiar? Because if that is a yes, then that's an absolute yes. Yeah.
I always smelled cigarette smoke. Yeah. My father, who was a smoker, but he quit when he was 56. He passed at 72, but he always used to tell me, Gia, he says, when I die, he goes, I'm up there, he goes, I'm going to smoke. I miss smoking. I'm going to smoke. So I'll get this faint smell of smoke, and I just know it's my dad, and he's up there smoking.
Again, they give you signs.
Yeah.
So many of us like, are they around us? Yes. More than you realize.
Right.
More than you realize.
Sue has another question. She says the best exercise to step aside to let spirit come in. It's probably your meditation, right? Isn't that kind of
the best step? They're asking me what's the best step?
Yeah, she's saying the best exercise, right, to step aside to let spirit come in.
It's awareness. It's allowing yourself to well, you see, mediumship is not a passive state. Mediumship is the opposite of passive. When I often get ready to do mediumship readings, I'm listening to music. I'm raising my vibration, not not being passive. But when you're training, you need to know what your body feels like, so when somebody else, you need to know what your energy feels like, so when somebody else steps in, that energy feels different than your energy. So you need that time of meditation. It's really for that.
Like meditation's a good exercise, right?
Yeah, but because it teaches you, it's not that meditation makes you the medium. That's not what it does. It teaches you to become aware, and it's in that awareness that you need to become the medium. I'm aware of a person stepping in. If you notice, I always say, I'm being made aware of a woman that's stepping in. Right. I'm being made aware because I am in awareness. I'm aware of what my atmosphere feels like. And then when I go to work, what my atmosphere feels like. Right. And it changes, and that is what meditation teaches you.
Very good.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was your most memorable reading? You do a lot, I know, but there's got to be, and obviously you're not going to tell us about the celebrity. So what was your most memorable reading?
My most memorable reading, honestly, was for two different reasons. I had this little girl that came to me with her mother. And it was such a profound, oh my gosh. Okay, this little girl was 5 years old, and the mom wanted her to come to me for a reading with the mother. And I'm like, no, she's too young.
Oh,
no.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like, no. Wow. And she's like, I want my daughter to come. I said, she's too young. She's 5. And like, I think she can handle it. I said, and she was pushing me. And I'm like, all right, well, if you really want your daughter to come, fine. But if you're in the room, I mean, it's your daughter, but I'm against it, but whatever. So she came, OMG, that little girl's dad came in. It was profound. That dad, he started talking like, he started talking like, honey, your dad is here and he tells me you play baseball with him. Can you understand that?
Gosh.
Yes. I said, he tells me that you stand at the window in your bedroom and you sing to him, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I wonder where you are.
And this little
and
girl?
she said, yes, I do that. And I looked at the mom. I said, does she do that? Oh, yes, every night.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. He's telling me like all of these things. And it was incredible. And on and on and on with this little girl. And she was so excited. Like everything I said was so specific. And the mom validated everything. And then the little girl goes, excuse me. And I said, yes, honey. She says, my heart, it's pushing open and open and open.
Are you serious?
And it's growing bigger and bigger. I'm so happy.
Oh.
And I said, your heart feels like it's growing bigger? And she says, yes, I'm so happy. Her father, like, I mean, I can't even tell you this reading.
Wow.
It was amazing. But that little girl, like, that dad came in and like healed his little girl through this reading. And I almost didn't let her come. And I can't even tell you, like, it was so, your daddy told me you pray at the bed every night. It was just amazing. And then there was a military guy that came to me. And it was a very profound reading because the military guy was a lot of his guys in the military came in. And he was nervous on who was going to come in. Because obviously when you do military, you don't know who's coming. Right. All of his loved ones, people he was in the service with. Wow. Like his best friends came in, but then it was amazing because afterwards, like, I don't know, like I never really talked to a lot of people that were in the military, and that young boy, handsome guy, like our kid's age, handsome kid, he had such amazing stories. Like I told my husband, I came home, I said, if we ever have a dinner party, I want to invite him. I want to invite him. He was fascinating. His stories were so profound stories, and it really, like, I will never forget that guy. What they do in the military, what these guys go through,
we have no idea.
I always respected them. I always respected them, but that was like that right. A level 2, 3 up. It was amazing, and he got wonderful readings from his friends. But anyway,
So
that little girl was. Excuse me, my heart's growing.
That is amazing.
It's like, and I was like, that dad came in, talked about, he said, used to throw you up and down and flip you. Oh, he did that? Yeah, he did that.
I could see why you would have been hesitant.
I was hesitant.
I could see why.
And that mom was like, she validated every single thing. And it was so particular. That little girl was amazing. So and I almost didn't let that little girl come. And she got such a healing from her dad in spirit.
That's great.
It was gorgeous.
So next question, we're going to see if you're going to answer it. So along with the memorable, what was the hardest reading you ever gave? There also has to be the other side. Yeah. Do you know which one that is? Tough one?
Hardest? What is
hardest? I don't mean like a hardest like to connect. I mean like the toughest. Let me rephrase it. The toughest, or maybe the most. I don't know. I know they're always lifting.
I had a husband that came in. And he took his life. And he wanted to tell his wife why.
Wow. That would be hard. Mm-hmm. That'd be hard. But in the end, I would imagine it healed her.
She said that it freed her.
That's what I'm saying.
She said that reading freed me.
Right.
She said your reading freed me. And it wasn't like he was wanting to explain to her what he was going through. And it was very hard, because you're grieving, because that's obviously hard. So that was very hard. It was good for her because it freed her, but
hard.
Yeah, because I'm understanding, like, oh my gosh, this is her husband.
You're feeling,
and I'm like,
Well, and I think, and I know you've talked about this, and I think I even brought it up last week in one of your lives, is we get what we need, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we go in with a couple of readings. I might have had a preconceived what I want to hear, and sometimes I felt like it was going off topic, but it was always actually what I needed to hear. So
I had a guy that came in my office like over a couple of days ago, and he says, oh my God, like he had friends that kind of came in, but the whole reading just switched, and it's like I was bringing in his friends, and I was bringing in them, all of a sudden, spirit world just
Yeah.
did a 360 and got right into him and what the spirit world wanted was asking for him to work on, and he was almost on his knees, like, and his girlfriend was with us and said that was exactly what he needed. But they gave him a little bit to know it's real, yes, and then they just pivoted me and spin me into a whole nother direction, and it went down this whole path of what he's struggling with.
Because it's their agenda.
And he says, and he says, I'm lost for words, but it's what it was like, yeah. So, but yeah, it takes you where you need it.
Where you need it.
So they I always say they're in charge. Like they navigate the reading.
Cheryl just said she has 2 Marine sons. That's awesome.
I mean,
mad respect for you. My goodness. Mad
respect for you, even for being a mom too, to have your children.
That's right.
Do that, like I want to give props to you too, because that's not easy for a mom.
Are you kidding? That's
easy.
Terribly hard.
I mean, that's
well, thank them for their service.
Thank you for their service. Sure. I mean, military guys are amazing.
They are.
And women. Yeah, amazing.
Exactly. Sarah just had one question on that story.
Hi, Sarah.
Did he regret his suicide when he came back? Do they really don't go through regrets so much by then, do they?
Well, I mean, people have come in with regret.
Okay.
Regret on how it affected them.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. A regret on what it did to them. You see, but that's why the husband came in because she was,
feeling
why and what did I do and what could I have done, and so he wanted to clear that record, and kind of say this is what I was going through, and it was
gotcha. Yeah.
So it helped her.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Have you ever lost any friendships or relationships due to your mediumship?
No. And when you're going through training in mediumship, you are told often you're going to lose friends. Relationships in your family could change. And so I was prepared for it when I came out. And I actually went to some of my friends very cautiously, thinking like, okay, I might lose this friendship of 15 years. I might lose this friendship and they were like, yeah. And like, you just like, I always knew. Like, what are you talking about? Don't you remember when we were in Laughlin and you gave like that talk? Now we understand it's a reading to the waiter. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't remember like when we, like that whole thing that you were doing at the restaurant, or like my other friends, like we knew. You were always like talking to people.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't even know it. So like they knew before me sometimes. So I've been really lucky that I've had really cool friends, but I did have like some acquaintances I lost. I was just in Sephora buying makeup. Yeah. And an old client of mine was in there.
Are you serious?
And I had been there I had been to her wedding. I had photographed her family, her children. I've been to her birthday party. I've been to her home many times. She saw me in Sephora and like went the other way.
Because of the meeting.
So I thought, it wasn't because of that, because, I had lunch with her. I'm like, all of a sudden she went the other way. I'm like, oh, so clearly she knows I'm doing different work.
Yeah.
So she wasn't as comfortable with it. But I don't know. Is that my problem? Or
no.
Is that, she's just not done whatever. Yeah. So that kind of stuff, but not my friends.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This is a good one. Do you always actually visually see the spirit in a reading, or just the impressions of them? Do you hear them, or are you actually seeing
all of it? I had a reading I did on Zoom the other day, and a dad came in, and I'm like, honey, I've got to say, like, your dad's wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt, and he just cracked open a beer, and he's sitting in a lounge chair. Would you understand that? And she's like, my dad always sat in a lounge chair. He always wore Tommy Bahamas. He loved his beer. And I was like, because he was like giving me this whole movie.
Oh my God.
So he's like, and he like showed me what he was, giving it to me.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it depends on how they want to work with me.
Right. They can come in other ways too, right? Sometimes they give you an impression, right?
They can give me just a vision. I'll see that, or they'll give me this whole movie.
Right.
Or like when they really want to like show me their personality and stuff like that, they'll be like, hey, they're like, your dad's doing this right now, or so.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm looking at because some of these questions we've asked.
I can't see any of them because
I know.
I have my glasses on.
Well, we know the answer to this, so I mean, I'll ask very quickly. You can yes or no. I already know the answer.
Okay.
Do you become physically and emotionally drained after readings?
Not during readings.
After.
But after readings, and depending upon the types of readings, because if some of them were more heavy and more, some of them require more space to be
Exactly.
to be given. So
Yeah.
some more than others, some days more than others, but never during a reading. It would be after,
Right.
because again, you're in a high vibe when you're giving a reading.
Okay. Oh, I lost my question. Well, let's see. I'll find it again. I'll ask this one. As you further develop your gift, what more would you like to accomplish as a medium? I mean, you've written books,
Right?
You've done some teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going next? You do your readings. Is there a next? I mean, what do you want to do?
There's always a next.
What is it?
I think it always has to. I think that there is so much possibilities for us. I think that we should never limit the what you can do. So I just stay really open. But probably my trance will deepen. My working with the guides. I have a idea of where it might go, but I don't. We'll see. We'll have to see what
Well, stay tuned
what
for
I'm
that.
interested in and what I still feel inspired to do, because they'll go with whatever I'm inspired to do.
Right.
But they'll throw me the breadcrumbs. But if I don't like that, they'll move me this way, and then they might get back there again.
But you're going to
They'll
always continue to
they'll
develop.
bring me the back way.
Right.
It's always a development, but I think there comes a time where you don't do any courses anymore, because you
Right.
become your own teacher.
Right.
Because there's only so much. I remember having my teacher. He says you can't come anymore. Like, you got to jump out of the nest. Like, there's nothing I can teach you.
So have you?
And so you have to become your own teacher, and that's what he told me.
So you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So have you considered? Maybe I've probably asked you this before, but I don't know if everybody else knows. Have you considered doing teachings? I mean, where you're going to develop other mediums, psychics. I mean, you've got people. I mean, there's people that always say, "Hey, I have dreams. I have this." Has that something that you've ever considered in the future? Helping people get in touch with their own spirit guides and teachings.
We'll see.
Oh, I must be onto something. I can tell I'm onto something with that one.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I love teaching, and I love to be able to share, and I love to be able to help people forward, and I love to be able to make a positive difference, and so I love all of that. So
Right.
I'm always open to it, but there's a lot happening in the next.
sure.
So there's a lot going on. So
Christine has and I know you've answered, but you can answer it very quickly for Christine wants to know, is there any difference in reading spirits who have passed a long time ago versus recent?
No difference. I mean, there's no difference at all. So I've brought them through when they've just passed,
Like
and
within
they've been on
days, right?
65 years.
Yeah.
On the other side, and even longer down the chain. Like I told you in the last live, I said there was a whole lineup of people. Like
Yeah.
someone was working on an ancestor tree, and they all lined up. And it's like, oh my God, it's a whole bunch of them.
I think we've kind of hit this question, so I'll probably, let's see.
Okay.
Do you ever have a hard time connecting with a client's loved one on the other side? If so, how do you handle it? I mean, is there ever difficulty getting people to some kind of hide back, right? There's some spirits that aren't so quick to jump in. You've had that?
Yeah, but I always feel it kind of has a little bit to do with the reservations of the client.
Correct.
Because it's
Right.
not that the loved one would never want to really, but it's where the person's heart is, and
Yes.
the resistance or amount of resistance, and they're never going to push it on you. So, so sometimes sometimes maybe somebody isn't really aware that there is resistance.
I'm going to tell a story after.
You want to tell a story?
I'm going to
Okay,
tell a
good.
story. Well, I'm going to tell a story about you did a group reading at my house.
Mhm.
And one of my girlfriends was there, and she was really excited because they were coming, it was a girls' trip. They came down to visit me. Super excited. In fact, the most excited of all the girls, right? So we're sitting around. Monica starts doing the reading. I have she's really a sister-in-law of my best friend. So, I mean, a friend of mine, but not from right now. Anyway, Monica kind of asked her a question about something. All of a sudden, the walls just went up, right? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Mhm.
And these things kind of kept coming up, and all the rest are kind of looking around the room like, what is going on? You could see the walls just, yep. And then after you were able to talk to her, I'm going to tell you the long and short, it was a healing, but it was actually after the reading. It ended up being her father, and some things had happened with her mother, and he stood back, right? He was there, but he kept standing back, and she didn't want any.
Is he the farmer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember she didn't want any part of it, and it wasn't until after when you were actually visiting that you got the story, and it still ended up healing her, and she felt great. But boy,
Yeah, it was like an hour later.
Yeah, but and then we had no idea. So again, it goes back to, I think, just answering that question is it really does have a lot to do, I think, with the client, because boy, when those walls went up, And he stood quietly, you said, for the most part during all the readings, kind of stayed.
He was there from the beginning.
And he knew she didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, he was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So everyone else was getting their readings,
Yeah.
and then he skipped, and then I just brought him in, but she was there.
Yep.
So she got what she needed, but she got it a different way.
Not how, exactly.
Yeah, she got it a different way.
Exactly.
But again, you know, but she felt so much better afterwards, so it was all good.
No, it was great. Yeah, it actually worked out really well.
Yeah.
Okay, Elisa, are the spirits of family together as they were alive? So is the family hanging out?
Yeah,
I think they are.
Sure. I mean, they come in together
for sure. Yeah.
You could tell by the way they come in.
Yeah.
You can always tell when they're together by the way they come in.
Yeah. Cool. I threw my questions unless you want me to think of some more. I think
No.
How about you guys? Do you have any more for her?
Any last minute questions before we give away our reading? Did you all like this?
I thought it was fun.
I had so much fun.
It was fun. I hope you guys have fun.
Oh, can't read any of this. I don't have my glasses.
I don't have I have it live here right now. Let's see. I think we're caught up, but let's give them a second because I don't know what the delay is. Before we go into, I guess you're giving a free reading.
I'm giving a free reading.
Yay!
I'm surprised you didn't ask.
I don't get to win, but yay!
You don't get to win.
Somebody will.
Oh, look at all the hearts.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
Looks like they had a good time. It was fun.
It's good. I just want to kind of remind you guys also, Thursday I'll come on and do a letter from Spirit. So it's from the guides, Edgar. And so there's a letter called Embrace the Mud Puddles. And that's going to be something I'm going to be sharing on Thursday with you. So today was just kind of a special day. I don't usually come on Tuesdays, but Gia was in town and we thought it would be fun to kind of do this.
Yeah.
And so kind of mix it up a little bit. And so
I
hope you kind of enjoyed it. I'm hoping through the question answering that you've learned a little bit, maybe about me, but learned about mediumship and, all of that. And also, I just want to kind of close with this, just with a, know that your loved ones are always around you, and know that they always know what's going on. They know what's happening in your life. They know when you're happy. They know if you're feeling sad. They know they are so close to you and so much around you. And they're always giving you signs and symbols. And it's for us to pay attention to them so that you can know that they're coming in to drop a little sign to let you know that they're around, and they kind of giving you a wink, so they're with you. And so I just want you all to kind of know that. Yeah.
There was a couple mentions quite some ways back, and I'll just bring up, obviously when your loved ones are around, there was a couple people that said they feel vibrations or tingles.
1,000%.
So
1,000%.
It was here a couple of places. So just to address
1,000%.
the fact that, I don't get the chills, or there's an energy, you feel a little vibration, because a couple of people had mentioned that as well.
Yeah, that Beach Boys song, Good Vibrations.
Good vibrations. It's good vibrations. Exactly.
Good vibrations.
Yeah.
And they will work with your nervous system.
For sure.
They work with your nervous system. Sure. That's a way to kind of, just like they work with electricity, because they can, but kind of our nervous system is kind of like our electricity, right? Mm-hmm. So they can work through the nervous system for sure.
Well, I have to tell you something funny. Okay. So coming off plane, I've never had so much static electricity in my hair last night coming that my hand, and my husband goes, what is going on? The hair was out to here, and I'd put my hand and the hair was just flying up on my hand. I had so much electricity. I don't know what it was, but isn't that weird? I mean, my hand was,
Nothing's weird to me.
But it was actually, like, my hair was actually lifting.
Yeah.
It was strange. I just thought that was a little electric current. It was weird.
For sure.
So that was a new one for me.
Did you feel good about it?
Yeah, it was fine. Well, I wanted to get off the plane. I mean, I was flying, but
I get spirits on the plane all the time.
Yeah, it was on the plane, and it was just like,
I always get
crazy.
I am like literally always, like, spirits are always.
I'm telling you,
always on the plane. Always on the plane.
Yeah, so I wasn't quite sure it was my loved ones, but something was going on. And even my husband was
like, no, it's connected to you. Why would it be connected to somebody else?
I mean, my hair was just like I could literally lift about this much hair off with my hand last night.
Yeah,
crazy, right?
Yeah,
they're all coming on.
They're all on vacay with you.
They're all coming to California.
They're all on vacay with you.
Yeah. See, they want to get back to OC too.
That's right.
All right.
Then we got that dry air in Texas.
All right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, okay, so we're going to do this. I'm going to give away a reading. So, here's how it's going to work. So, you are going to put in the comments 2 different things. You're going to pick a letter from the alphabet and a number. Okay? So, you're going to pick a letter and a number, and that's what you're going to put in the comments. And I have picked 4, and I'm going to pick one. And if nobody picked the letter, then I'll go to the second one that I chose. Does that make sense?
It does. So
it's alphabet A through Z. You're going to pick a letter, and then you're going to pick a number between 1 and 100, and that's what you're going to do.
So the letter has to be accurate, though. Number will be like it's always been in the past. It's closest to, but not over. For example, my number may be A-1, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or, B-50.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's saying. But that letter will have to be exact. Whoever wins will have that letter.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. The winner has to have the letter correct. And then the number will be whoever gets to the number. So if the letter was, what did you say? A1?
A1 or B15.
So if it was A, and if it was A15, for instance.
That would still, if it went over, right?
So if somebody had A17, that wouldn't win. It would be 15 or under.
Yeah.
Just whoever got closest to 15.
So the number's the same rule of thumb as it's always been. The letter has to be exact. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
So.
And then if nobody picked the letter, I will pick another one because I picked 4. So I'll pick from one of these. And then whoever wins. So whoever wins, you have to email me your time zone, your name, obviously. Let me know that you won. And your time zone. And then I will reach out with email. And it's going to be a 30-minute private reading. And I only do them on Fridays. So when you email me, give me your best Friday and the time zone that you're in. Okay, that's what I need from you so I can book your appointment to get your reading with me. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Give them a few
First of all, I just want to say thanks to all of you.
That was fun.
Thank you. So as everyone's kind of chiming in, do you have any other questions for me?
It was a blast to be here.
Yeah.
It's a blast to be home. It's a blast to be here. Oh, missed you and to see all you. I mean, somebody familiar. I mean,
I know, right?
You're following, right? And when I jump on occasionally in Texas, which I do, I'll jump on. So it's great to be able to talk to all you guys again.
And also, we have to make sure.
One guest only, guys. One guest.
I just got to say too, it's got to be someone that's been on the live. That was part of the thing. So
Correct.
If you have not seen anybody on here that has not been posting, do you understand? Because you've been watching all the comments that you have the names.
Yeah.
So you had to have been, on. Right. Because the deal is you have to be on my live. Right.
And again, one vote only, guys. Okay. And
love the hearts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I want to be fair to everyone because everyone just spent like the last hour plus minutes with us online.
Absolutely.
So I want to make sure that it's not anybody that's just chiming in for the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
So I know that you are aware of who has been on and who hasn't.
I think we're
okay.
Looks like
and also if you do win, but you don't want a reading, you want to gift it to somebody, you can do that as well. So you can certainly do that if you know there's somebody that might need it, might be in a bigger need to have the reading. I'm totally fine with you paying it forward. So that's okay too. Okay. So Gia is in charge of organizing all of it when everyone is done with it.
You got to pick your number. Hey, one more thing. I'm gonna Sue. So okay, I think Sue didn't understand. She misunderstood. Do me a favor before we do that.
Yeah.
Sue, take one more shot at it, and that last number is the one I'm going to count for the contest because she voted many times.
Oh, yeah, you can only vote once.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me your choice right now, and then we'll use that last entry for you, okay? Because I want to make sure it's fair. So let's just give her a second to get the message.
Perfect.
And then we'll do it once we get Sue's.
Okay. And I love doing these from time to time. I think it's kind of fun, to do.
Totally fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a little delayed. So she should
be. Let's wait.
Oh, got it, Sue. Okay, thank you. I think everybody else is.
Do you need paper? You're gonna need paper.
Well, it's gonna be pretty easy because I'm gonna be able to use this.
Okay.
I think.
All right. So here's the form. I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, guys. And okay. So this is the number I'm picking. This is the winner. Okay. I knew it.
What is it? What do you mean?
Oh, can you see it?
Oh, now I can. Okay, I'm going to start looking.
Can you see it?
So, wait, do you have any quotes or anything?
Wait, hold on.
R88, guys.
R88. Okay. No, I don't have any quotes.
Well, you just keep talking because I need to go
This is a different live.
Okay.
There was a cool quote I saw on Kourtney Kardashian's thing. I wonder if I can find it. I don't know. So let me look at some of your questions and see if there's anything else. Hang on, just while you're doing that, just so we can fill the time. Oh, look at this. Okay, number 37. Gia asked, "Do you have any regrets?"
Oh, how did I not ask you that?
I don't know. So it just was right here.
Okay.
So, do you have any regrets? So that was a question, and the answer is yes, I do. And any regrets? So my regret from, like, I guess you mean my life, right?
Anything. Yeah.
Okay. So is not meeting my grandmother.
Oh.
So when I'm doing mediumship readings, there's a lot of grandmas that come in, and it's amazing to me the love connection that my clients have with their grandmothers. And it's always such a beautiful relationship so often. And I never knew my grandmother. And so my regret is, she passed in the late 90s, and I could have met her, and I didn't. She did live in another country, but still, that's my biggest regret. Okay.
I have it. There was only one person with an R, guys.
There was only one person
only
with
one
an R?
person. Yep.
Okay, who was it?
It's Maria Rose Mamson with R34.
Maria, you're the winner.
Maria,
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations.
Maria Rose Manson.
Yep.
Perfect. You are the winner. So, darling, you get a private reading with me. So I'm very excited to give you a beautiful reading. So I just need you to please email me at info@monicateurlings.com or go to my website, monicateurlings.com. You can email me through the contact page. When you type in your email address, please make sure it's correct so I can respond back to you. Or just email me info@monicateurlings.com and let me know your time zone. It's going to be on a Friday, so give me a Friday that's best, and give me a few hours times. Give me a window of time that works for you. I will get right back to you tomorrow, and I will schedule you, and I will give you a Zoom link, and you will receive a beautiful reading. So yay. So thank you so much, all of you guys, for hanging out with Gia and me. I love that.
I know. We're going to do it again because I'm going to be here
come out again.
Oh, you think? Yes, I will be out here again. So we'll definitely do another one. I'm trying to get her to go to Texas. She keeps saying she's going to come to Texas. We can do something in Texas. Yeah. So you need to come my way.
We'll do next. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to get on a plane again.
Sounds like fun.
Do some things. So you guys are amazing. I want to say thank you so much for sharing the night. I know we spent a long time here tonight, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope the time was spent well and you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you learned a little bit about me and also.
Yes.
Wait, me? Is there another? No,
you.
Honey, you.
It's you, Maria.
Yes, Maria, you, honey. You won.
Yes.
You are the winner. You are the winner. Hi, Linda.
She has a quick question.
What?
She says, how does it work? Linda wants to know, this question has popped up.
Right.
How does it work when you've been married a few times and you pass away? Who are you going to be with in the afterlife?
I've had them.
That's a good question.
I've had somebody come in with both of the husbands. So both husbands have come in.
Oh.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so hold on a second. So I'm going to make sure I can understand that, because I had a reading that I gave who had multiple husbands in spirit, and they all came in for her in the one reading.
Hysterical.
And I have had parents on the other side who have been remarried, and they came in with both of their husbands for their daughter.
Wow.
So
there you go.
I don't know what to tell you about that, but that is an experience that has happened. So I'm going to say,
you could be seeing
a lot of love.
Too.
There's love in the spirit world, and I don't think there's any angst or anything with anybody in the spirit world. So, OMG, this is the best day of my life.
Oh, that's your daughter's birthday.
And it's your daughter's birthday.
Right. Remember, she said in the beginning, I think she was the one that had daughter's
Isn't that
birthday.
interesting? Because when I picked this, I said I knew it.
You did say that.
I said I knew it. I don't know why I knew Art was going to win.
There's a stack.
I just knew when I wrote this. I knew this was going to be the winner.
She's crying right now.
Oh, yay! So no, that was spirit guided, because I know that, because I knew when I picked that, I'm like, I knew it.
You did say that.
So I always trust. So congratulations, darling. Email me. I can't wait to give you a reading, darling. Evie, you are amazing.
Bye, Evie.
Thank you. Hi, Tanya. How are you, honey? I haven't seen all you guys here. I've been focused on answering the questions.
I've been looking at it. They've all been here.
Have you seen the movie Host?
Why do I? Yes.
Have you seen the movie Host?
Isn't that a suspense? Isn't that a suspense?
Was that good, Tanya?
I think.
Should we see that?
I
add it to the list. And what was the other one we have to watch?
I've got him here.
Yeah,
Zachary, Dear Zachary.
Dear Zachary.
You got to watch.
We have to watch that one too.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Tracy. How are you,
See,
sweetheart?
they were all here.
Thank you. Love this so much. Wonderful.
Thank you, Kat.
Thanks, Kat, honey.
And Abby and all of you.
Linda, you guys also
Linda,
ask great questions, so thank you for that.
Sure.
I think, Gia, you asked really good questions too, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Spending your whole flight coming down here, listening, making all this, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So I love that, and I love that you came today and to spend time with me.
I know.
Now we're gonna have tacos.
Taco Tuesday.
So we're gonna have tacos.
Cocktail.
And I can't have a cocktail. I gotta work.
Yeah.
I'll have a Diet Coke. You can have a cocktail.
I'm having a cocktail.
Okay.
No work.
I have day of readings tomorrow.
I'm
so
on
I
vacay.
can't drink.
I'm on vacay.
You're on vacay. Well, you can have a margarita for me.
There you go.
All right, you guys. Mwah. I love you guys so much.
Guys.
Thank you for joining us and sharing tonight. And you guys be amazing. Have a great week. And until next time. Oh, Thursday, I'll be doing a Letters from Spirit. If you guys want to pop on. It's going to be a fun one. So I love the letter for Thursday. So hope I'll see you guys Thursday. Okay?
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks again.